There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up, and welcome into this post-game pod edition of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you by Patrick Kurtzberger and Mark Hall. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel, trying to hit 2,000 subs by Texas. We got 2 weeks left before the Texas game. Help us hit 2,000 subscribers.
2K by Texas.
2K by Texas. Thank you very much. Follow us on all of our social media. That's Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any of the others. At Program Guys with a Z. That's how you can follow us. You can go to programguys.com for all of our written content. And if you ordered a shirt, be on the lookout. Those should be shipping out soon for the people. So check that out as well. Boys, how we doing? I watched, Oklahoma wins 20-6. I should have said that. Oklahoma wins 20-6 against Cincinnati on the road. First real road game of the year. Right? TU didn't really, I don't think TU really counted. So OU 1-0 in Big 12 play. Pat, you watched from Vegas. Your opening thoughts.
Yeah, I think I have to adjust on how I'm watching these Oklahoma games and my expectations, because Oklahoma scores 50 points typically, but maybe not anymore. And so we're covering the spread, right? Did we?
Yeah, I think it closed at 13.5.
I think 13.5 was the number.
That's great. And I mean, defense gave up 2 field goals. Incredible. I just have to adjust the way I'm looking at the way I'm watching these games.
I came into the year thinking the defense would be real, thinking that this would be the Danny Stutzman we were going to get. And it feels nice to be proven right on that. The Brent Venables turnaround is real, and you can see it in the way the guys carry themselves, the way they play on the defensive side of the football. I don't know what to do on offense, man. And we're going to get into a lot of it, but the overwhelming thing to me is there is no rhythm. There's no like rhyme or reason to the things we're doing and the sequencing that we're doing things.
No, not at all. We'll get to the offense for sure. Boys, I kind of want to get started with the defense, though, if that's okay with you, because they were really the stars of the show, right? I feel like they deserve the bulk of the credit. And I wanted to start off by reading you guys this. This is from Mike Houck, the sports information director for Oklahoma football and Oklahoma athletics. Fewest points allowed by Oklahoma football team over the first 4 games of a season the last 30 years. 2023, 34. 2009, 35. 2002, 41, 1993, 44, and the list goes on and on. Needless to say, this is the lowest point total through 4 games that Oklahoma has allowed in the last 30 years. That's pretty impressive. And this defense showed out on Saturday. All the credit in the world to them. Man, I don't know how many more times I can say it, but number one, the Big 12 messed up by Danny Stutzman not being on all Big 12 preseason team. Yeah. Like, that's automatically a lock. He needs to be up for any award a linebacker can win in the national race by the end of the season. He's everywhere. He had 13.5 tackles, I think. A tackle and a half for loss. I get
3.5 for loss.
Thank you. Yes.
13 tackles, 7 solo, 1 sack.
Thank you.
And 3.5 for a loss. Danny played the way that we've sort of just come to expect Danny to play. He is a football robot out there. He's got Brent Venables' brain in Isaiah Simmons' body, and he plays the Mike backer or the will position. He's insane out there. He's a heat-seeking missile on every play. It was really unfortunate that Jaron Cannett got hurt when he did, because I thought he was having maybe his best game as a Sooner.
I agree.
He was all over the place. He was in the backfield. They were rushing him a ton, and he was super effective doing that. Wonder if that's something we see a little bit more as we try to manufacture pressure, because aside from
they're just not getting it.
Bothroyd had a couple good plays. PJ had a couple great plays, but we're clearly having to manufacture it.
Yeah. Pat, what do you think the problem is with the pressure? Why don't you think they're getting enough pressure?
I don't, honestly, dude, I don't know. I feel like it's almost inexcusable at this point to not be, like you like to say, bigger men pushing these guys around.
I agree.
Because we're not doing it. We're just not doing it. But overall thoughts on the defense. After we scored in the second half, I looked at Ryan and Mark and I said, what's great is that they're not going to score on this next drive. The defense was going to hold, and they held. It was such a good feeling, man. I loved it. But yeah, I mean, so many good things. Danny and JK7 played amazing. But yeah, pressure is the biggest problem, I think.
I really go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, it might be like the only thing that's an issue, but the four aren't doing it. That's the problem. Is the front four, the front three, whatever we have down, they often are not the ones getting to the quarterback. So we're turning to sending guys, and that's how you land with, bust downfield sometimes. Obviously, we gave up 6 points. This is the best defense any of us have seen in Crimson and Cream in all of my time. Since
I showed up to Oklahoma in 2011, this is the best one that I've seen.
Yeah.
This is the best one.
And they're just a machine out there. They truly are. Brent really has the train on the tracks with these guys.
Rondell Bothroyd with that sack that Pat was talking about, just one-handed. That's some grown man stuff, Pat, that we just mentioned. That's just being a better athlete and a bigger, stronger athlete. That was a whole lot of fun to see. Key Lawrence and Billy Bowman with the interceptions, the turnovers. They had great days. It's just fun to see that secondary kind of flying around, man. I really think they swarm the ball so well. And that's something that looks different with this team, is the fact that they rally to the football so much better than previous teams. It's not like, gee, I hope this guy makes a tackle, because if he doesn't, he's going for 15. It's okay, if this guy misses a tackle, here comes Danny to clean up the mess or whatever is there, or anybody else for that matter. You have defensive linemen running downfield in pursuit. It's credit to them. They're hard workers, and you can tell that it's been instilled in them that you will not be good unless you work hard. And they are working hard on that field. A lot of guys in Division I football, this is coming from a guy who's not a Division I football player, but you see guys who are on teams and they don't look as though they're putting forth a ton of effort just because they've been better at football than everyone in their entire lives. And they get to college and they're like, wait, I actually have to work hard now. And sometimes that's hard to click in some people. I don't feel like we get that with this defense. It's just different to me. I don't know if what I said makes any sense, but I'll allow someone else can jump in.
Yeah. When Cincinnati was trying to do something cute or tricky on the offensive side, they got none of it.
Discipline.
I mean, yeah, it was so good to watch that and see that. Like, Brent was not having any of that. Wasn't going to happen.
No, and
as concerned as we were about Emory Jones, he goes basically 50% passing, 22 of 41, 235 yards and 2 picks, no scores like we've hit on. And our fear was on the ground, right? Yep. He's going to then beat us on the ground, right? 15 touches for 42 yards, a long of 20. So he got 20 yards on one carry. That's 14 for the other 22 yards. He was largely maintained in check. Like, it really, really worked well. And you know what? They're not getting the pressure, but the defensive line did make some plays. I thought Isaiah Coe had a very good game.
But he's a guy who stood out to me.
Yeah, that's the way to say it. Is just he stood out with his play on Saturday, and we need that version of Isaiah Coe in the rotation.
Yeah, we do, and especially shake it out however you want. This was the best team that Oklahoma had played thus far this season, and they played them very well. Like Patrick said off the top, you'd love to score 50 points, right? But in games where you're struggling on offense, your defense needs to step up, and they did. And they looked every bit the part of a team that is dominant on the defensive side of the ball. Also, I saw a stat that was Oklahoma ranks 130th in the country. No, Patrick sent us that,
Yeah,
or Ryan
yeah.
did. Patrick, say the stat because I say it.
We rank 130th in the country in red zone defense, but that's only because there's only been 5 or 6 red zone drives. So
Which doesn't qualify them in the stat book.
yeah,
They aren't qualified for their
Yeah.
stats to count.
it's like counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
It's
that's
like
crazy.
when like they would do Daryl Revis stats back in the day, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he was thrown at 4 times this season.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah,
I
no,
guess he's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I thought the defense played super well. I thought the game plan was great. I mean, you look at Cincinnati stats, like Mark mentioned. I mean, they threw the ball for 235, ran the ball for only 141. That doesn't feel like a lot to me. I don't know. I mean, and you look at that, Emory Jones, we were worried with his legs, 15 carries for 42 yards, 2.8 yards a carry, man. They didn't have a rusher over 50 yards. I'll take that every day of the week. Every day I will take that. Because your offense, and we'll get to them in a second, when your defense plays like that, you should win every game. At Oklahoma, if your defense plays like they did on Saturday, you should win every single game by double digits. By double digits. Period, point blank, end of discussion.
Agreed. They had a total of 376 yards and only scored 6 points. That's crazy.
It's great.
Against the Pittsburgh Panthers, Corey Kiner went for 153 yards on 20 carries.
Yep.
He had a very good game. Against Oklahoma, 10 carries, 39 yards. Just held in check. Just held in check. You guys can do anything you want between the 30s. And then we're going to hold your ass down right there. It's beautiful.
Let us know down below in the comments what you thought of the defensive performance. Did you like what you saw out of the defense? What could have improved? What can't improve at all? Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Peyton Bowen. We haven't even said his name.
Yeah,
oh my God. He's lining up everywhere. He's everywhere, guys. And I don't know why we're ever having situations where Dasan McCullough, who played pretty well, but I see what they mean about him in space, man. I get he's a little lost out there. Why is he ever lined up further back than Peyton Bowen on a football field? Ever. Goofy stuff. But
yeah, shouldn't be.
I'm sure they'll iron that out. Peyton played so well. PJ played really well. Makari Vickers got in and looked awesome when he was in there. That guy is not afraid to get into a tackle to go make a play. That's 3 freshmen that I think we're really going to see rotate throughout the defense.
Completely agree. Yeah, Peyton Bowen is that guy, man. He's just that guy. We come on here after every single game, and it's the same thing, but because he is the same every week, he's the same player, and he just is only going to get better, and that's just super, super exciting to watch. Pat, anything else on the defense, brother?
No, all good.
Mark, go ahead. You want to jump in one more time?
Just you don't see Peyton mess up. You don't see him make
No.
mistakes. He's a child, and he's out there. He's the best player on the field sometimes.
He's played 4 games.
He's so good. He's played 4 games.
It's nuts, man. It's just
nuts.
It's crazy. I loved what I saw from the defense. I'm telling again, man, if they play like that, you don't lose any games. If that defense plays like that. With this schedule, let me be clear. With this schedule, you don't lose any games with the way the defense played on Saturday. Let us know down below in the comments.
Tied with Miami or Wyoming at 3 in the third quarter. Like, with this defense, we're good.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, on the offensive side of the ball, on the other side of the coin, man.
With this offense, we're not so good.
Dude, I don't know what was going on. So overlook at the stats. Dylan Gabriel, 322 yards, 26 for 38, 1 touchdown. And then running the ball, 34 carries, 103 yards. Marcus Major, the biggest toter of the rock, 15 carries for 63 yards for him. Only 1 touchdown, and that's Dylan Gabriel on the ground. Andrew Anthony, your leading receiver, 7 receptions, 117. That 49-yard touchdown as well. And Dylan Gabriel, 2 fumbles, 1 of them lost. We'll start with Dylan, man. I mean, number one, you can't fumble that football, dude. That fumble is inexcusable and cannot happen. And he knows that. He's played enough football. There's no reason to harp on it a lot, I think, but he knows you can't do that. And also after last week, we were giving Dylan credit for what we thought was probably the best game of his collegiate career. He was overthrowing guys. He was missing guys. He really was. I don't know what happened, what changed. But yeah, he was not as accurate as he was a week ago, and I'm not really sure the reasoning for that.
26 of 38 for 322 and a touchdown looks pretty freaking good. And watching the game, that doesn't feel like an accurate like stat line. I know that it is, right? I'm not saying they're wrong, but outside of I know Andrell Anthony had a superb game, and Nick Anderson, I just don't know what he's got to do to get more run, because every time the ball is thrown his direction, something magical happens.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's a no-brainer. I feel like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, but you're right that we're back to some of the Dylan antics of last season, and hopefully that's a unique Cincinnati problem, because that front was every bit as good as we told everyone on the preview podcast they were going to be. That's two NFL players up front with Corleone and other dude.
Yeah. And you're right. And that's something we could have, the pressure, more pressure than Dylan's probably faced all year. It's probably something he's just not used to dealing with. Pat, what'd you see out of the offense, man?
Yeah, agreed, man. Dylan it was a disappointing game again. He was missing guys, throwing it too far. Like the pass to Drake Stoops, right? It was right behind him. Drake should have caught it too, but man, it's just disappointing that huge long pass he threw to Andrell Anthony. Andrell had like to stop and come back a little bit for it too. Like, even the deep ball wasn't looking good. It worked, but it wasn't looking good. Overall in the offense, though, just run the ball, man. Run the ball 3-4 times in a row sometimes. I just don't think we're doing that enough, and we can't get into a rhythm. Just try that. Try running it 4 or 5 times in a row to get in a rhythm. I don't understand why we can't do that.
The running game is the weirdest thing to me.
It's lost.
Last week we go the two youngins. This week we go the two old guys. That's just how we're gonna do this.
I hate it.
It's so dumb. I don't get it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus played well. Tawi played well.
Yeah.
It's not really the dudes themselves. It's what are we doing?
I have no idea.
Get it.
Well, and there comes a point where I don't think the guys you're giving the ball to in situations, that's not the situations that they are meant to be given the ball in. Like running outside zone with Marcus Major is probably not the move. Probably running a halfback screen to Marcus Major or Tawi Walker, probably not the move, right? Like maybe we just it's the wrong guys in the wrong situations, and hopefully it's just as simple as that. I don't know.
But that's the thing. It is the wrong guys in the wrong situations. And we're not changing. He doesn't change. Jeff Lebby's not going to change his play calling for his guys and what he has. He just doesn't do it. There's no adjustments. And it's been bad.
Hopefully it's still just an injury thing. I mean, Gavin was there. Javonte was there. Those dudes are suited up, right? And they just don't get snaps. We noted, Patrick and I, that we just don't have any explosiveness in the running game. All of that comes from Gavin Sawchuk. All of it. Because Javonte, when he has been on the field, you can tell he's not quite there yet. And being that fast is not really his game anyway. Yeah. But we have to get Gavin Sawchuk in, because sometimes the holes are there and we're big man bustling through it, and he's a speed bike. He's just right through.
Jeff Lebby said in the postgame press conference that Marcus was the one who stood out the most in practice this week, and that's why he got the bulk of the carries. If that's what we're doing, look, I understand practice has got to mean something. I get it. I understand. Thank you. That's some high school nonsense.
It's like the JV team.
Play the players that are best. Play your best players. Point blank simple. Marcus Major has been at this school for 15 years. If you think that what he showed you in practice is what he is, I have 4 years of tape to tell you you're wrong. Okay?
That's true.
Like, let's stop pretending that if you perform like a god in practice, that means you're going to go out there on Saturday and perform like a god. That's just not realistic going against the scout team saying that Marcus understands it better. Yeah, no crap. He's 32. He's been there longer than all the other guys. Of course, he's going to understand the cerebral part of the game more. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop the charade. We know who the guys are.
Well, we did this weird thing last year too, around this time where it was Eric Gray and Marcus Major. And you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to shake out. We were all calling for more Marcus at this time. But the ceiling that we've seen with Javonte on the field and with Gavin on the field is just higher. Like the options that they provide you open the offense up so much more than what Marcus Major does. And I really like Marcus Major. It's not a him problem, but those young guys are quick, they're fast, they're explosive. They bring another element to the field that it's the whole thing. There is no rhythm. There's no anything to build off of. It feels like me playing Madden with our offensive play calling sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're not setting plays up. We're not doing anything. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills watching it because I don't get it.
I don't get it either. What I do get is Angelo Anthony. I'm glad he is rising above, proving himself to be the guy. That's a lot of fun for me. Andrell looks great. Credit to him. Jaleel only 2 catches. Thought that was kind of odd. Drake had 6. I feel like Drake was targeted like 12 times this game. I don't really know what, and maybe that was in the game plan. I don't even know. But yeah, anytime a ball is thrown Andrell's direction, it's exciting, man. And to Mark's point about Nick Anderson, man, every time he touches the ball, good things happen. Like, he needs to be drawn up and in there. And we had a play. There was a throw to Jaden Gibson, I think, down in the red zone.
Yeah.
And they put him in.
It's like Jaden Gibson's first snap of the game, though. You said, "Come on in, young blood." That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy to do that to him.
It's weird, but I thought the receivers performed very well. And remember, at the beginning of the season, this was a big question mark, right? This was a big question mark in the room, and they've answered the bell on pretty much everything. They've all proven that they can be reliable when called upon, and Andrell stepping up as the guy. And if Jaleel can have consistent production, that's a lot of fun. Stop throwing the ball to the tight ends. I'm done with them. I'm done with the tight ends.
We said the same thing.
No more.
Yeah.
No more.
In the offseason, I was kind of high on Jason Llewellyn. Maybe we just go to Jason Llewellyn.
Yeah.
Throw him in the backfield the way they're doing with Stogner. You're telling me that big ass dude can't block someone and then be your outlet? Come on. Get creative. Get creative.
I agree. Patrick, anything else on the offense, on the receivers you want to
add? 9 different people caught the ball. We spread it out really well. Yeah, man. He's just most comfortable going to Drake Stoops. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. He likes going to Drake.
I think he really likes Andrell. I think
he
really
does.
Likes Andrell.
There's nothing better than when the camera hasn't adjusted to the throw down the field and Andrew Anthony's about to catch the ball.
He's like down there, streaking down the field. And the ball just sails over his head.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's gotten to the point now where when Dylan winds up and you can tell he's going deep, I know it's going to Anthony.
Yeah.
I know it is. So that's a lot of fun too. But I thought the receivers performed very well. And look, I think Dylan is I think we're gonna get to the Iowa State game, and we're gonna be here a week from today talking about the Iowa State game, and I think we're all gonna feel pretty good because I think Dylan bounces back, and he bounces back in a good way. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on the offense. Anybody else?
Just got to find a rhythm. It doesn't matter what it is, really, but an identity. There isn't really an identity to the offense yet, 4 games into the season.
I saw a tweet that somebody said Jeff Levy is quiet quitting. and I laughed.
Oh, that is funny.
I
I
laughed.
love that.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
the father-in-law
be,
thing
dude.
happened, and he's not so happy anymore.
Yeah, dude, just crazy. Let us know down below in the comments what you thought of the offense and who stood out for you, what stood out to you, what you like, what you didn't like. We read every single one of your comments. So yeah, boys,
All of them.
MVP time, right? This is our MVP segment. All right, Pat, MVP, who you got, brother?
I want to be like unique,
Yeah,
Yeah. Give me Nick Anderson, dude.
he's fun.
Electric.
Okay, baby.
He's electric.
He's fun.
All 3 catches.
Yeah, all 3
Yeah.
catches for the kid. I like it. Okay, that's your MVP. Mark,
That's
who's
my
yours?
MVP.
This is a tough one. I think I already gave one for like a post-game MVP to Brent Venables this year, so I'm not going to do that. Give me Jay Valai. I thought our corners, every one of them, played very well. Gentry was all over the field. That was not a pass interference. I'm okay with the call because, like, you see that flag thrown plenty, but it's not a pass interference. He
It's
played
not.
spectacular.
He did.
Woody Washington played very well. Makari Vickers got onto the field and played very well. I didn't see as much Jacoby Johnson, but apparently he played. That's awesome. Robert Spears Jennings was flying around. Key Lawrence looks good. Now I'm getting into the safeties, but yeah, give me Jay Valai and Brandon Hall, the double team.
The double dip. All right. My MVP is I feel like it's got to be Danny Stutzman again, man. When he has, there's a correlation, folks. And in this case, correlation does equal causation. When
Nice.
Danny Stutzman has a good game, this defense has a good game. When Danny's flying around the field and leading the team in tackles and causing hell, I guarantee you Cincinnati's watching the film today and watching the film on Monday. They're probably beating their head against a wall and thanking God every day that they don't have to play number 28 again, because that dude's everywhere all the time, all at once. He's a nightmare. Credit to Danny, man. I'll just sing his praises until hopefully people forget that I was so hard on him last year. But
He's so good.
I know that's my MVP. Let us know down below in the comments who your MVP of the week is. Boys, anything else before we get out of here?
One last thing from me.
Yeah, brother.
I am more stressed when our offense is on the field than when our defense is on the field right
Same.
now. And that's not a good feeling to have.
I felt more stress with the offense. That's for certain.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us in this post-game pod edition of the Program Guys podcast. Sooners move to 4-0, taking on Iowa State next week in Norman. I'll be there. Say what's up.
I'm not sure I knew that.
Yeah, dude, me and the wife. Coming to
fun.
Norman.
We'll see you there, baby.
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. Going
Can't
with
wait.
program guy Connor Borland. Going
Love
with
him.
program guy Connor Borland, and it's gonna be sick. So if you see us out there, say
Very
what's
fun.
up. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. Also, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Helps us out more than you know. Costs you $0 as well. Please help us hit 2K by Texas. Shirts are
Big
coming.
lift. Shirts
That's
are
gonna
coming.
do it. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
3, 2, 1.